Hello, my name is Allison Merker Garner, and this video is entitled Imposter Syndrome, Performance Anxiety, Triggered Responses. What do all of these have in common? As most of you know, I'm a somatic therapist that's trained also in NLP and Primal Alexander and other methods of mindfulness, mind-body work, and and healing somatic techniques. So I draw from all of these when I am considering how to approach a problem, an issue, or a desire that one of my clients expresses. So the process, though it may be different in its intention, is pretty much the same for imposter syndrome, performance anxiety, getting rid of triggers, dealing with beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve you. So I'm going to lay it out for you so that you have an understanding. When you're scrolling through Facebook or you're listening to this person or that person, or you see an ad, that you have a little bit of information that you can use against what you're reading, see if it lines up for you. There's a lot out there. And don't trust me. Go do your research. Go look up some of these things. See what's out there before you make a decision to work with somebody, because it may not align with you, either in its approach or in its outcome. So let's just go through a few definitions. Imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome involves any kind of feeling like you're not good enough. Low self-worth, perfectionism, procrastination, people-pleasing, workaholicism. All of these different labels fall under the imposter syndrome umbrella. Performance anxiety. There are many kinds of performance anxiety. There's performance anxiety that's just because you aren't used to playing in front of people, and you just need to get used to playing in front of people. But you're feeling anxious because it's something unfamiliar. There's performance anxiety that develops over time. So you may develop performance anxiety somewhere along in your career. You can have performance anxiety that is trauma related, that you may have a problem being exposed on stage because of some trauma that your neural system is linking that with. So performance anxiety is not the same for every single person. However, like imposter syndrome, or like a trigger where you feel like that person always triggers me, or that event always triggers me in a certain way that I don't like, those things are not hard to turn around if you know what you're doing. Mind work alone will not work. Thinking it through will not be enough. You need to go at it through the body. But what does that mean? It means that your whole system is involved in this reaction. Your whole system is involved, not just your thinking mind. You may have thoughts. You may be a self-critic and have thoughts that come through your mind all the time. that are self-deprecating. So they can come to you through your thoughts, but they involve you holistically. Those thoughts can have a feeling attached to them or a sensation attached to them. They can affect your emotions, your functioning, your ability to be in the world. And most importantly, they impact your connection with yourself. So when I am working with someone on performance anxiety, on some kind of problem with a relationship they're having, if they're having a block to expression in their playing, if they have low self-esteem, the solution begins with connecting with yourself. What does that mean? What that means is being aware and recognizing some truth in how you're feeling and how you're thinking and how your emotions are, how you are psychologically. And you get curious about that. You allow that to come in. You don't suppress it. You allow it in. Get curious about it. You're non-judgmental in doing this. You're allowing the emotion, the thought, the feeling, whatever, to come in. It's part of you. If you cut it off, you're cutting off a part of yourself. You're fragmenting yourself. And unless you're in some traumatic situation where your safety is threatened, that's not healthy for you. If you hear something in the background, it's my curious cat. He's found a box. So I'm going to ignore him. So the thing to bear in mind is to recognize, to allow, to investigate, and then to nurture through non-identification and have self-compassion for what you are recognizing and allowing in yourself at that moment. Now, what does non-identification mean? Well, what it means is you're not your emotions. You're not an event. You're not an object. You aren't the person that's having a problem with that person. Those feelings aren't who you are. They don't identify you. So being able to disconnect enough from that and look at it is an important part of getting to the self, because the self isn't that feeling. The self isn't that emotion or thought. The self is free of that. And the only way to get to the self is to peel back those layers when they come up, deal with it. Once you are aware of something, you can have a choice what you want to do about it, if anything. So we're going to do a practice today that comes from Tara Brach. She's a Buddhist meditation expert. And this is her RAIN meditation. RAIN stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. What we just talked about. And in this meditation, we're consciously bringing into the experience sensory awareness. We're bringing into the experience breathing, movement, somatic experience. We're intentionally bringing in thought. So we're integrating in this practice. So what I ask you to do is to think of something. It can be a thought, feeling, or emotion, or sensation, if you've got pain somewhere. And I'd like it to be something around a 2 or a 3 on a scale from 0 to 10. So not a 10, not the worst thing that's ever happened to you. It's somewhere that's where it's activating and discomforting. And I say that because I'm not there with you. So if you have, something that's very highly charged and you have no way of containing it, I don't want that to happen. So we're taking something that's not so highly charged for you, but there is some activation there. And we're going to make this very quick. You can make it as long as you want or as short as you want. This will give you an idea how it works. So find a place where you're comfortable. You can have your eyes closed, open, or soft, and allow your jaw to relax. Let it open in the back. And let's take a deep breath, inhaling through the nose, 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhaling for 6 through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take a moment and visualize a rain shower. Hear it. Smell it. Allow the sound and the sight and the smell of the rain to inhabit you. Embody it. And as you hear that, be aware of your breathing. How's your breathing? Is it slowing? And I want you to bring up, when you are ready, the thing, the event, the person, the event, the feeling, the sensation. Bring up the thing that's a little discomforting to you. And just recognize it. Allow it. It may be just an emotion. It may have attached to it an image or a feeling. This may come up as a picture in your mind. Allow it. Allow it to speak. And get curious about it. Investigate it. What is coming up for you? Why is it presenting itself right now? What does it need? Ask it, what do you need? And after you've investigated it, see it for what it is. It's not you. It's separate from you. It's not your energy unless you choose to put your energy into it. You can choose not to and keep your energy inside, nourishing your own self and not this thing. And as you hear the rain and you feel it in your body, hold that space for that discomfort. Breathe it through and allow it to move on. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, shift in your chair, return to our present moment, and ask yourself, what was my experience? Is my experience different now than it was before we did the rain meditation? And if so, how? Do I prefer that way of being? And this is how we begin to have a conversation and a connection with ourselves. And through that, we can go through the mind, through the body, through the heart, through the gut. We can go through and change behaviors, beliefs, ways of being that no longer serve you. But having that sense of self established first gives you a resource, a place to return, a place that's safe within you. If things get a little too much, a little overwhelming, as you evolve and grow. Thank you.